Hi everybody, how's it going? I'm doing something different. I was suggested to do this in like a therapeutic way, just to talk about what's going on in my life, updates, changes, and just how the new year's been. So I'm doing this basically like a freedom of speech type thing, which is kind of nice. I've never done this before, to do like a vlog and to actually do this in a unedited, raw way. So again, this is for therapeutic purposes, and I'm gonna see how it goes. Never done this, so yeah, basically here goes. So what I want to talk about, basically, the whole purpose of this is nobody knows, but I struggle really heavily with depression, and I've struggled with it for years, as well as anxiety, and I really have never tried to deal with it, and it's come to a head um, to where it's been really difficult. And it's been difficult to function, it's been difficult to think, it's been difficult to focus. And I've had to basically ground myself and search my religious beliefs, a lot of Bible reading, and just a lot of focus. Um, so I wanted to share kind of that journey and just life, what's been going on, and why things happen, I guess. Um, so what happened in November and December of this past year, going into 2020, is kind of how everything started really getting bad for me. And I just broke up with my girlfriend. She unfortunately cheated on me, and it sent me through a very dark place. And it sent me to just a place that I felt I wasn't myself. Luckily, I was able to get support for it. I was able to confide in my friends. The day it happened, I actually told immediately, probably one of my closest friends. And really, if it wasn't for their help getting me through that, as much as they thought that they didn't help me and they wanted to help me more, by just them listening and being there for me helped more than they would ever know. And I'm in debt to them because of that. That was, it meant so much. But it caused a great deal of sadness in my life that I didn't really share. And it still happens today because unfortunately I still talk to this person. We are still friends, me and her. And I don't really tell anybody about that because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to still have feelings for someone who broke your heart. And it's embarrassing to still try to be friendly with someone who kind of stepped on you. Um, because around that same time after we broke up and when we were towards the end, I didn't know until later that she was going through her own problems. She got heavily into drinking and she started hanging out with people that were taking her to parties and stuff like that, and it just wasn't good. And she said some really hurtful things about me. She said some really just traumatic things. For one, being that she thought I shouldn't exist and that everybody would be better off if I wasn't here. Um, that's really hard to deal with when I try to be here for everybody and I try to be such the strong person that I am, and to have someone that you care about not want you to exist messes with you. And I didn't tell anybody about it. I kept it to myself, and I tried to put on a clown face basically to pretend that I was happy when I couldn't believe that she would do that. She also was spreading some really hurtful things about me, and I know it was maybe drugs that she was on and being drunk, so I know that maybe there was influence that way, but she was just saying some bad things about me to people that I care about and that are important in my life. And I went as far as to spending hundreds of dollars to find the best person that is licensed in polygraph in my area. And I never would have thought I would have to do that to basically prove that someone is lying, and pass it, basically to show that what she was doing was really mean and hurtful. That sent me through hell, absolute hell, that nobody knows about except right now with all you guys listening, whoever's listening. Um, Basically, that was a lot to handle. Also, what happened that was coming up during this time is something really traumatic happened to me when I was younger. And only two people know about it my whole life. One being my mom, and the other person being, again, one of my closest friends that I told about, I think it was last summer. And I hope they still have kept it to themselves. But it was something that I've suppressed so deep and so much that I forgot about. And whatever happened with my ex, for some reason, brought these emotions back up. And I had to navigate that and I had to deal with that. It brought me down. It made me question my own self. It made me question my beliefs. It made me question my morals. Should I even care about trying to be a good person? Should I care about my morals? Should I care about, trying to live a good life? And it really screwed me up because everything that was happening at that time was just all happening at once. I was also hanging out with some friends that were just not good influences. They were doing a lot of drugs on their own, and I didn't see it because I was so stuck in my own depression that I was oblivious to it. I was pressured into doing drugs. I was pressured into just doing stupid crap. And luckily, I guess I'm smart enough to see past that. But again, it made me feel like, it made me just question my self-worth. It made me feel like, should I even really care? And depression is a very lonely thing. It is very dark. It's hard to talk about. And you only talk about it with people that you confide in and that are the closest to you. During this time, too, I had some issues in my family going into 2020 as well. There's been some health issues, also just personal issues. I'm on good terms with my dad. We talk a lot, but what a lot of people don't know is I haven't seen my dad since February of this year. And it's not COVID related. It's probably my own fault that that's happened. I don't know why, but he is dealing with his own stuff, family stuff. And also with my mom, I had a fallout with my mom that we're doing better now, but that was hard. There was a lot of things because of depression and sadness and anxiety that also caused me to relocate. And not a lot of people know that. It's crazy talking about all this because I never would have thought about it. But yeah, so there's been a lot of things that have happened. And then going into 2020, COVID hit, which was hard. I was laid off from one of my jobs, which was really difficult to deal with because I have really great coworkers and I felt bad for everybody else. I also did try to take a new step in my life. I had two coworkers that I was attracted to, and one of them I tried to ask out, tried to establish a relationship. It didn't go to plan, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, now there's a little bit of awkwardness, but it was important for me to try. And it basically, it is what it is. So there's been a lot going on. Depression has kicked my ass really hard, and I continue to deal with it. On the side of that, there was also something else going on. One of my closest friends, who I happen to be their best friend, was going through their own issues in November and December, which I really didn't know. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know the depth of it. Come to find out, they were going through their own depression. They were going through their own traumatic stuff. They were dealing with sin. They were dealing with lust in their life. Bad decision making. Excuse me. But, as someone's best friend, I was there for them. And I stood tall and I stood strong for them because that's what they needed. We all have friends in our lives, but they're not always there for us. And I made sure that I was there for him and got him back on track. We share the same religious beliefs, so stuck to our religious beliefs, Bible, God, prayer. to get back on track. Unfortunately, it was deeper than that. In February of this year, he made some bad choices that were deep and that hurt him really bad. And doesn't need to be, I don't need to talk about it in depth because there's a respect to that. But it was important for me to be there. What I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to him about everything that's been going on in my life. And when we would hang out, I didn't have that opportunity because what was going on in his life was more important. And I made sure that that was more important because to me, it was a pretty big deal. There was a lot of questions that were going on in his mind, that, decision making. And it was important for me as a great friend, as a true friend, to make sure that he didn't make a rational or irrational decision based off of bad judgments. And no matter, like always, no matter for people in my life, no matter how much you screw up, no matter how bad you are, whatever, I'm still there for you. And I made it that point to him. And that goes on to everything. Now, I'm hoping that they have kept to their morals. I'm hoping that they have the same standards because they put a lot of work into it. Could there be a possibility that they've slipped up again? Yeah. But it doesn't make them a bad person. I'm still here for that person, even if they screw up. It doesn't matter. I have a lot of belief in them, though, that they are strong enough to keep to beliefs and morals. But if they screw up, I'm always here for that. And, whatever you got to do to fix somebody, you got to be there for them. But after that took place, basically, things in 2020 have been great. For that individual, I think March of this year happened to be the best month that they've ever had. Basically, I share a lot of common with a lot of my friends, so we work out, we're active and everything. He had a lot of goals for himself. And to see somebody actually put real goals in place, real dreams, and have that was so encouraging for me to also want to pursue your own stuff. But I was happy for him that through so many things that he's told me and people not believing in him or putting him down his whole life, to actually see things in order. Like, this is what I want to do with money. This is what I want to do with life. This is what I want to do career-wise. Talking about going into business. I mean, it was crazy. And then also him figuring out who were the true friends in his own life and to start, reorganizing that. Never did I ever push him to cut people out, but to have him see value in friendship was extremely important. But yeah, it was cool to see him go a different direction, music-wise, getting into different music, stuff like that. But also him realizing, people in his life that he thought might have been close aren't really close. Because some of his friends that I at least know, I mean, if he knew sometimes some of the things that people would say about him behind his back, he would be pissed. And it's horrible to know that you supposedly have friends that are there for you, but they are so quick to talk about you behind their back. They're so quick to talk about you when you're not there. And even when you are there, to just ignore that person is pretty hurtful. And to see that, that's not a true friend. That's not a real friend. That's hard, But there's a lot of plans going to Mr. Olympia. I mean, I'm still going, and I'm super excited because it's been moved to December now, so it doesn't conflict with any dates. Also, different concerts. I'm super excited for the fall for a rescheduled King Gizzard concert. Basically, just all kinds of stuff. But I think mostly it was the goals that they put in place for themselves, and to be able to share that with me. And I mean, he could have easily shared it with anybody else, but they chose me to share it with because I cared and I encouraged. It was always about encouraging. I encourage all my friends, people that are around me. It's important to encourage. And it was important for them to see encouragement, because I don't think they got it. It's so easy to say like, yeah, dude, I'm here for you. But when you're not, it's super easy to tell someone that, oh yeah, I'll listen to you when you got problems, or, blah, blah, blah. But where are they when you really need them? When you were going through your problems, where are friends when you need them, right? But I make a point to be there. And that's not BS. That's just straight up being real. I hope that, the goals are still there, because it was cool also, working out wise and everything, and having goals to be in competitions, and just like getting like a personal training certificate, like doing that type of stuff was really cool. We had these new workouts basically, to talk about, the 7.0 workouts, where you would do double days. Freaking, it was literally insane to see somebody crush freaking a goal and to see progression. Also, I remember they made like a new Instagram, and just to devote to that. And that's what a lot of people do. Like people that want to get popular, people that want to have a good following, they make those. And it was hard to see people also at the same time give him flack for posting things. And it's like the same thing. It's like, those are supposed to be your friends. Why does it matter if you post a video or a photo or what you're eating or what your workouts are? Who cares? That's your own business. Who cares what other people think? Those are your goals. Those are your dreams. Nobody else's. It's important to do that. But also basically to upgrade. There was a change to do. I mean, I know that his workout equipment only supported, I think his like machine only supported like 600 pounds for the rack. So there was talk about like upgrading, getting new equipment, getting new basically like safety stuff too, harnesses, ankle support, knee support, back braces. When somebody has, bad knees or bad ankles like he did, you have to upgrade, because if you don't, you are going to hurt yourself. And we didn't just research just random stuff. Actually did really good homework to incorporate the new lifts with the new products. You have to do a lot of research, because you will end up hurting yourself. And it same went with the supplements, getting new supplements, healthier proteins, healthier pre-workouts, because I saw that there was a little bit of change going on. If you're not feeling well, if you're feeling nauseous and stuff like that, you need to switch it up. And my worry is for someone like that to go out and get something that they have no idea what it is, and they put it in their body, and now you've hurting yourself. It could be a dangerous situation. But it's just been great to see that motivation, and also like new things too. Basically wanting to get into like paintball. Like that was super exciting. And I'm hoping that the trajectory that they were on, they should be by now 20 to 25 pounds muscle-wise heavier. Realistically, I hope they have that same drive, but I don't know if they do. Things have changed. Things are different. And it would be really sad if they don't have that, if they don't have that same drive, if they don't have those same dreams, because those are your, when you have a dream, that's your dream, that is personal, that is exciting. And to have maybe someone change that dream or to convince you differently is sad. So hopefully they're on that same trajectory, but they probably aren't. And that would be just unfortunate. Basically also, it was really funny with COVID. I remember talking about taking like COVID time off. And in April, I finally got time off. I was taking 2 weeks off just to kick it, hang out. And I had two friends that I was inviting with me to kick it and hang out that have never met this other really good friend. And one of them is actually a personal trainer, works in a supplement shop. So that was going to be exciting. And the other one's just a really good friend. And basically, it was just going to be just kicking it, lifting, hanging out, just doing whatever. But unfortunately, things have changed. That other really good friend, the one that I happen to be their best friend, um, has disappeared. It's almost like it's been ghosted. Um, and it's sad. It's unfortunate. I really don't know what to think about that. It's its own separate situation, I guess. Um, but it causes sadness because you think about, like, were you used? Were you being manipulated? Were you just whatever? But when I think of that person, they don't have those traits. They wouldn't use somebody. They don't have a narcissistic mindset. So I can't think like that because I know they're good at heart, but I don't know what's going on. Um, but it's sad because I never got a chance, and I hope I still get that chance to tell them the details about everything, about what's been going on depression wise. I never got to tell them what was happening back in November and December. Never got to let them listen to the voicemails and see the text messages of my ex just reaming into me. There was also something that was going on too that nobody knows about. I was being harassed, which is really weird because it's never happened before. Um, and what's really sad is I think he actually might know some of the phone numbers. Um, Specifically, the last time we hung out, I remember that we made it like a TikTok, or he made a TikTok and he was editing it. And I remember being with him and he was trying to figure out like the music to put to it. And that time was really heavy in COVID, so I had family texting me. Was really, work was bugging me basically, so I would play it off like, oh yeah, it's just work or whatever. Because he asked me, he's just like, what's wrong? And I'm like, oh, nothing, it's just work, when it really wasn't. It was, I was being harassed. And he's just like, well, I know something's wrong because you usually pay attention, you usually laugh with me, you're really into this. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. It's just, I didn't have a chance to talk to him about what was going on. And it wasn't the right time. And I remember saying, yeah, I should just probably, it was late. So I remember saying, we should call it a night and everything. And that still bothers me. It still bothers me that I couldn't, explain that. And I would like for him to see what was being said. Um, that's it. It really, it was, really upsetting. Um, and other things that are upsetting for me is him and as well as his family encouraged me to like move closer and everything. And we talked about it for a while and everything. And I remember months back, actually came to thinking like, you know what? Okay. And that was the whole plan. Extremely supportive from great people. And yeah, that is a really sad thing because my idea was this summer. They had no idea that had work all lined up. Basically, talking again, going back to opening a business, moving money around $50,000 into a business account because I wanted to maybe start my own business, a business that we talked about. Also getting approved for a loan for another $50,000. So $100,000, having everything all set up, and that was a big plan because I remember him saying, if you're closer, he's just like, move in, roommates, it's gonna be great, and that would have helped him too. That was a whole big thing for him, is be able to, just have a little bit more freedom mindset, but it would have gave him a chance to save more. Would have been able to just do a lot more. But especially money was big, and it's a huge priority for him because I know that, he got a lot of crap from people because they think that he's not good with money. And, people that give you crap are just not real good friends. So I know that was a big thing. But, that would have been really cool. I still want to. I'm still so determined, but everything is so in the air, don't really know what to do. So, it's a confusing time, basically. But, there was other things that were going on. My phone's ringing. That, basically were happening. He happens to be in a relationship, And for one, she's really, really nice, super, super nice. And yeah, just a very nice person, basically. And I remember the last time hanging out, she said something that to both of us that was kind of weird about just some stress that was happening. Some things here and there, I really wasn't sure, but it was just kind of weird for me. But I remember one night he took her home, and he came back, and I remember just sitting, and I knew something was wrong right off the bat, and I knew that I didn't want to mention anything, didn't want to say anything, so I'm on my phone and everything, and he comes over and he says something, but I really don't take it personal, or I don't really say anything. I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say, but basically though I wasn't really paying attention, so he nudged me, and I looked up at him, and he did like this to follow him, so I follow him and everything, and we go to the garage, and he just breaks down, and I was like, oh crap, like what's going on? And we sit down, and I think we talk for like an hour and a half, and he just lets it all out about what's going on, about what they talked about. And the first thing that went on in my head was just sadness, because this person is a really nice person. I didn't know the depth of maybe what was going on. And I know a lot of it had to do with just it was personal stuff, so it doesn't need to be talked about here. But I think some of it had to do. I know there was like car insurance stuff that I remember was brought up, financial stuff, phone payment, this thing like that, and just really he was just down. And again, instead of telling him what was going on in my life, at that moment I made I made a decision to be like, you know what, I got to put him first. And we talked, and we put plans in place to just make sure everything was good, making sure that she was fine. And I remember telling him, I'm like, whatever you need, and I'm here for you. And I got you, I got her. We're gonna help her. And he was very, very thankful. And it's hard because I don't think she knows that. I don't think he ever told her that. There was a lot of times that when he needed something, I was there for him. And there was everything got better afterwards. He would, basically try to like figure out things to do. Go for walks, ride your bike. Just do something else to try to get her back into a good place. And he really appreciated that. But it was sad because nobody else was there for him except me. And I would think about that, like, where's all your other friends in these situations? And why aren't you going to your other friends? It's because I'm here. It's because I'm a true friend, and I'm loyal. And, when I say that I'm going to help, and I say that I'm going to do something, I do it. I put action to it. And I know he was very thankful. And he was very appreciated that he knew that there didn't need to be stress, because whatever situations might arise, we are going to fix it. And he, had a lot of gratitude for that. But, and there was a lot of, for him, I guess, self-doubt too of going on. And it was important for him, again, to not make irrational decisions. It was important for him to, again, just put plans in place and to basically help him. But again, and he felt bad that we didn't get to talk about what was going on in my life, like friends would do. But it's okay, because I needed him to understand that what was going on in that moment, that was more important. It didn't matter what was going on in my life. That's the hard thing about, sometimes with depression, is I'm someone that puts everybody else first. And, I worry about myself last. And that's a hard way of living, but, when other people are happy, it makes me happy. And, yeah, like I said, I look back on things. I remember I was invited by him for Easter, and I kicked myself in the butt for not kind of manning up and just taking the time off work no matter what. to do that, um, because that week was great. Like I said, just transforming new workouts, kicking it, stuff like that. But I knew that something was off. And, um, you know, I'm not quite sure what it was. I've seen patterns before, and I knew towards the end of the week something was off. Started to get reserved a little bit. Um, there was again a lot of communication where they just didn't seem happy. They didn't seem like things were going good. There was a lot of anger. But again, I kept that to myself. I don't tell people. And you know, I don't know if maybe he was being swayed or something, or but it's upsetting when you look back on someone's dreams and just situations. um, I just hope, you know, you hope people in your life are mentally strong enough to be able to navigate those things. And um, you know, like I said, when you're someone's best friend, I'm there for them. And there's a lot of times, you know, I wish maybe he would have told his person in his relationship that I was there for him more so than they knew, because it also benefited her. Um, you know, I try to see myself as a good person, but you know, unfortunately, you know, it things right now, I I've it's been good because I've been able to, you know, let this out. Making this has been a good thing. Um, you know, trying to talk about what goes on in my life, because depression is a struggle. Sometimes we have good days, sometimes we have bad days. And I even know from my close friend that I hope he doesn't still have his struggles with depression, but he might still have it. You know, when you have those depression, there's days that you can't sleep, you can't think, you have, it's this fluctuation, and it sucks. I hope he doesn't have it, but and if he does, I'm hoping that he at least knows that no matter what, I don't budge. I'm always here for them. And again, I don't know what they're going through, but I'm always here. Nothing changes on that front. But I know with my own depression, it's a struggle. And, you know, we have to heal. And I've looked back to our religious beliefs. And I've looked back to try to just grounding myself, and just making this alone right here, this vlog, this therapeutic talk I was suggested to do, has helped, because you release things. Um, you know, so unfortunately, things months back, like I said, November, December, have affected me, and I'm trying to deal with that still today. I think I'm in a better spot now, and I think I have at least the tools to be able to get through that. And then also with a close friend, you know, it hurts, because you have memories. You know, you see things. It could be just weights. It could be I don't know, a hat, or you see something on TV, or something, you know, that you think of just memories, and it's hard, you know. So, you know, I'm trying to just take things day at a time, dealing with my own depression, with things that are in my past, dealing with a friendship situation that I really don't know a lot about, because I don't know if I did something wrong. I guess I might have, because, you know, who ghosts people, you know, without having to be a reason. But I wish I knew if I did something wrong. I wish I knew what it was, so I can apologize. I wish I just knew what the reason was. And maybe it's just space. It could just be space. And then I respect. But it's hard when you just don't know. But I'm hoping this helps somebody, if anybody watched this, to know that depression is a journey. You know, mental health is really important. And that if things in your past, like me, whether it be a breakup whether it be traumatic events, whether it be, family. It's important to know that we have to self-heal, and it's important to know that we have to just fix things. And as much as alone as you might feel sometimes in life when you go through that journey, there are real good people in our lives that are true friends, that are really there for you and have no problem listening to you, staying up with you, going on a walk with you, doing whatever they can. And if it's even harder than that, there's help out there. So I'm hoping this again helps somebody. This was super weird to make because I've never done this before, but hey, therapeutic talk, I guess, right? So y'all have a great day.